Hi, I'm Angela Ryder. Thanks for joining me. I'm sharing practical perspectives for amplifying your intuition and helping you integrate it with your intellect. So it really isn't like an intellect versus your intuition. It's more seeing how the intellect is often overvalued and overused, and we override our intuition. We will talk ourselves out of our knowing to the point of something has to fall apart in our lives or in our body before we say, "Oh my word, what's going on?" Or I knew I should have listened to my intuition. So I want to give the perspective of showing you that you don't have to be either or, and you don't have to live your intuition out loud, letting everybody know that you have a rich spirit and intuition guiding you. But by putting this in perspective, it is you have two interconnected circles, and we are often overweighted on intellect, and it's not very revered for us to trust our inner knowing and intuition, and we talk ourselves out of it. So the integration isn't always a balance like this, but if we look at it as a joining and overlapping of how do we integrate the two. And most of my adult life, I was in medical science and kind of secretly used my intuition just a little bit. And because of that science and that logic and that strong mental intellect of figuring things out, I stayed much longer in situations and activities that my intuition absolutely said I should have gotten out of there a long time ago. So from my perspective is, if we can, once we notice that that's what we do, once we notice that, oh, I always let my intellect and my fear and my anxiety override my intuition. So once we notice that, we begin the process of understanding how that works, what our conditioning actually is, how it's influencing our negating our intuition until it takes us out and says, you will listen now. We want to get to the point where our intuition is informing us. We notice it as the inspired idea or something popping into our head, or we get a sense of feeling, and we understand that's a time that we need to pause and notice. So once we notice we are overthinking, we need to drop in and notice, what am I future tripping about? Why am I anxious? Why am I worrying? What am I trying to figure out? Because that mental spin indicates that there's intuition that needs to be checked in on. Because when we drop into the intuition, it's going to say, maybe it's as simple as like, I don't know what this is, but this isn't it. Can we stop this? Can we shift this? Can we take a step back from this? Or intuition saying, oh yes, this is right. And we get that sparkly, bubbly, yes, I want that. Or yes, that feels right. It's that inner coherence. It's like, oh, it just feels good. So that feels good. That feels right. It's much easier for the intellect to get on board and say, okay, great. Yeah, let's do this. I know how to figure it out. But when our intuition is asking us to notice where we are conditioned into doing something that isn't in our best interest anymore, that's when our time for using the intellect part to say, okay, I'm not feeling like this is a line for me. What is my conditioning around this? Am I always the person that says yes? Am I the fixer? Am I the hard worker? Am I the good person? Am I over-identifying as being someone who does these things for other people that I no longer can do, no longer want to do? And then the intellect can say, oh, okay, I see. And then with the intellect and the intuition, it's like the intuition informs, this is what I'm feeling. Intellect says, oh yeah, I got it. And then together, new steps can be taken. One of the things that my spirit team likes to tell me is when I get into worry or concern or fear or anxiety, it's because I'm future tripping. So by future tripping, it means that I've taken that indication of my intuition of needing to notice what I know, what is intuitively coming to me, and then informing the intellect is like, let's take a look at this. But if the intellect just takes that and starts running, it says, okay, there's something off. I'm not going to check in with intuition, or whatever intuition says. I'm not going to worry about it. I'm just going to take that information and spin it. And then you're in that mental loop, and then you're not feeling safe in your body. And then you're leading with anxiety and worry. But if you are coming from that place of starting with your intuition first, spirit-led, intuition, and then informing your mind, and go from that loop, then you're not going to get stuck with the loop that just goes over and over and over in your head. So conditioned thinking can override your signals. And so notice fear, anxiety, uneasiness in the body, in your own knowing, in your intuition. Even if you don't have the words to say exactly what it is, if you don't stop to listen and tune in, then your mind has been given permission to go on the wild toad ride of anxiety and worry and spinning, when a quick check-in or just a regular check-in can help you notice what it is that your intuition is telling you. So, simple ways that you can do that is you can hand on heart, what am I feeling? I'm feeling fearful, or I'm feeling good. Or I don't know, because I don't know can be information too. And then you just check in later and take I don't know as a reason to pause. Don't let your mind go, oh no, we don't know what's going on. We can just say, I don't know yet. You can also ask, does this feel true to me? Will this really happen? And if the answer is maybe, it feels like it might, then you offer that to your intellect to say, okay, if that might happen, what are the things that we can do and steps that we can take to prevent, shift, change, prepare, research? Those are practical applications of something your intuition is telling you. But it's based on, well, I don't know yet, or I feel like this might be a situation that happens. And then again, your mind has a million different ways it can help you discern what your next steps could be based on the information of this is what I'm feeling, and let's explore this. So just practice noticing and listening for your intuition. Take times throughout the day, especially if you are in a spin, a shame spiral, a judgy, critical space of yourself, you can line that up and say, is this true? Is this true? And your intuition will never tell you that you have done something wrong. Your intuition says, oh, yes, that happened. And this is what we're feeling about it. And we can take action based on the truth, but the truth is not, you're wrong. That you need to fix yourself, that you need to berate yourself. So your intuition is always going to be gentle, and it's always an invitation, not a mandate. Your intuition isn't going to tell you you must do these things. It will be an invitation to, this is a way to bring balance. If you would like to take this step, this would be a good step that you could explore. Or this is something you can look at and determine what your next step is. So practicing noticing resonant guidance in your body, noticing when your body, your feelings, your inner wisdom is guiding you. I know today we just talked about the feelings of that, and for those who are more practiced with their intuition and hearing guidance, or having that inner knowing of just, oh, I know something, I don't know how I know it, but I know it as their inner truth, then those check-ins may be more informative. But just for today, look at it as an opportunity to rebalance the intellect as the one that helps the intuition. And the intuition is the one doing the internal guidance of leading you, of informing you, of inviting you to your next steps, informing when something is off, informing when you're aligned with it. The reason we start talking about intuition and where it feels off or the intellect is leading is because no matter where you are on a spiritual journey and developing your intuition or your psychic senses, you always need to be aware that your conditioning comes with you, and it's the lens to the degree that you've cleaned it, how clear your intuition comes to you, and how long it takes you to take that next step or explore the invitation from your intuition. So when we talk here and now, it's more about that felt sense of inner alignment, imbalance, or retuning in to your intuition, what's being felt in your body, to help you take notice when your mind is running the show versus your inner guidance, starting the information to be able to offer that to the intellect. Thanks for spending this time with me. Take what helps you, leave the rest, and just shifting your perspective to one where your intuition informs your intellect may really help you find more peace and ability to sense your intuition and take your next steps.